Hello Brawlers, Ace here, back with some Fellowship patch notes. It is November 6th and the new patch is live. Um, some sweeping changes for healers. If you remember the last two patches before this one, the tanks got buffed. This time the healers got buffed. If you're playing Sylvie, you're going to be living good. So I'll try to keep this short and sweet. I'm not going to linger on every single bug fix that they did, but I'll talk about the big changes here, as well as whether they are buffs or nerfs. And for the most part, we are going to see the green arrow here today, which I love. So first, they have some general fixes, issues with targeting on the ground abilities, so your aimed AoE ones. Mages and hunters are going to feel real good with this fix, especially if you have been running into this issue before. Next thing, they have changed some matchmaking item level requirements. I don't think this is a buff or a nerf in general. I think this is probably a good change to do here. Oh, my little thing is laggy today. Anyway, so they made it so that in order to auto queue or queue into matchmaking for Adept, you now have to be item level 80. It used to be 60. This is a pretty big change. It's nothing that a little bit of gold and upgrading your gear can't handle. But I think what we'll see is we'll see some more powerful people in Adept, and we know that this game is very reliant on eye level. Eye level is king, as they always say. So I don't want to say people are going to be 20% better here, but they're going to be definitely a little bit more powerful than they were before. We'll see how these changes go. Same thing, I don't think this matters as much for Paragon and for Champion, since you'll almost naturally gravitate towards the 130 eye level here. I think these changes are good, but we'll see how it affects the matchmaking, especially the matchmaking queue times. That's the one thing I'm a little worried about. We'll see if the queue times change. That is a little clock. Next, they fixed a few items. They changed a few items around. Ancient Wardstone now has high haste and low expertise instead of the other way around. Chalice of Essence now gives you haste and spirit. Great. Rest of these items are just fixes. Fated Strike has had a little bit of a buff. Boop. It just comes out faster. Latent Resurgence. Bigger healing trait, that's nice. I don't think people were using that very much. Let's keep on going. Here we are to the hero updates, and I don't think anyone was nerfed here. So let's start with Helena. Her stamina scaling is up by 10%. That's going to be real nice. It means you're going to get more HP. Always appreciated. Let's see. Hold the line tooltip, which is updated. It's just a visual change. Shield slam has been changed to hold the line. That's just a visual change. Sweeping strikes. This is big. This is great. Sweeping strikes, it reduces all damage dealt by afflicted enemies by 10% for its duration, and it lasts a while. I'm not sure exactly how long it lasts. Let me turn off this thing here. 12 seconds, so yeah, that's a good amount of time. Sweeping strikes got a buff, and you will take 10% less damage from them. That's awesome. Mako, I think just a few changes here. Let's see. So yeah, so your spirit that you summon, your Twin Souls Bulwark, is now going to also get health based on your crit, your haste, your expertise, and your spirit, which it wasn't getting before. So this spirit that you summon is going to be significantly beefier, and even beefier so the higher eye level you are. I like this change. Very nice. The Shattering Obelisk legendary cloak is now got nerfed a little bit. It's not much, but I think it's just toned back down into line. That's okay. Necklace of Tectonic Impact increases the damage of the final hit. That's good. Let me go back here. Tooltip change, tooltip change, tooltip change, tooltip change. They added in these changes in the previous patch, and they mentioned in those patch notes that the tooltips won't be updated until now. Now, Sylvie, here's the big one. If you play Sylvie, you're gonna have a great time. Oh my gosh. So, her base healing for her 2 big heals increased by 25%. That is awesome. Her Heart Bloom was nerfed a little bit, but we'll get to that. It's, well, I'll just talk about it now. It wasn't nerfed, it was just readjusted. Since both of these, your heals are increased by 25%, they decreased the Heart Bloom healing by 25% here, or about 25%. So your Heart Bloom should heal about the same amount, whereas your two staple heals are going to heal 25% more. That's huge. Flower Power has been pulled back in line as well. If Flower Power was still at 10% after these changes, you would be super OP, so I think these changes are good. They're not nerfs, but they are just pulled back into line. Enfeebling Root Sap, duration increased, that's always nice. Sometimes it can feel like those 6 seconds go by too fast, so I think this is great. Safe Haven and Iron Leaf, so these are two talents that when you spec into them, they give you a shield as well as the stats that they already give you. I don't think this is going to be worth it. I tested it out this morning, and the shields you get are fat. They're really good, but the Iron Leaf Ward one feels very nice. I will say that's great. But is it worth 3 talent points to get this shield that you can use once every minute or whatever? I don't know. Let me see how long is it. I am on Sylvie here, so this one 3. So for 3 talent points, you get a fat shield that you can use on the tank every 60 seconds. That versus Flower Power that you can spam pretty much on cooldown, or even Flutter Swift, that's really good. I don't know if it's worth it yet. They might have to rework this a little bit to give some sort of a Safe Haven, some sort of a cooldown reduction, because 2 minutes on that also doesn't feel good. But let's move on. Here's the big change. Here is the joy. This one sparks joy. Life Petal now has 2 charges baseline, and it gets cooldown acceleration from your haste. We'll see how long this sticks around. I love this change. It makes Sylvie it takes Sylvie from a viable character that can be at sometimes stressful to play, especially when you don't have a lot of talent points, to now just being a blast to play. You can almost play AFK Simulator with her with this, and I'll show you here at the end of the video. But this change is awesome. Nettlebolt got a big damage boost. Prickly Vine got a big damage boost. Sprouting Nettles, if you use that, got a big damage boost. Symbiosis, which is also a lesser used talent, got a damage boost. I almost want to say, if you build AFK, the AFK Sylvie build, and you just pump out damage, that you can you won't catch up with your DPS players, but you're going to do a ton of damage. And again, at the end of this, I'll show you how this works. It's a lot of fun. Now on to Vigour. Vigour got some buffs as well. Soulbrand 20%, Dawnbreaker Orb damage 35%, Radiant Blast damage and healing 15%. These are his main or staple heals, so always good to see. Fixed an issue, tooltip updated. Legendary Necklace got a little bit of a buff, not bad. Vigour didn't get the rework, sort of, I would call this, that Sylvie has, but he's gonna feel super strong as well. Tariq, they changed something with his heavy strike. That is your filler. They made it so that you can't sort of spam heavy strike to try to trigger proc effects. It'll only trigger that effect when the swing itself happens. They changed his legendary a little bit. The Splintered Bone can't critically strike anymore. It doesn't double dip anymore. I don't know. Like, this is probably something that shouldn't have been, but if you're a Tariq player, I don't think you can see too much changes here. And then finally, Ardios just had a fix. Other than that, we have UI changes, and then a few changes in each of the dungeons. The Stormwatch one I want to talk about real quick. It says it fixed an issue causing Warlord Brog to return to full health when entering the second phase. Brog now starts the second phase with the same health as at the end of the first phase. I don't know if they mean when you fight this guy on the little bridge. So if you remember in Stormwatch, there's a bridge where you fight him right in the middle and there's a bunch of pillagers over here. I don't know if they mean that as his first phase, and when you get him down to 75%, then the next time he'll start at 75% health. TBD on that. If that is the case, it's going to make the fight significantly easier, especially since he's so heavy on the AoE damage, but that's yet to be determined. So yeah, those are the patch notes. If you just wanted to read these, then great. If you want to stick around and see how I am going to talk about Sylvie for a little bit, then hang around for a second. Alright, I'm here on Sylvie. So, first thing we see, Life Petal down here has 2 charges now, the same as my Heart Bloom when I spec into Flower Power. This means a few things here. It means that we can indefinitely, or for an extremely long time, longer than any boss fight's going to take, keep these 2 up. So, if you don't know, Nettle Bolt reduces the cooldown of your Life Petal. Okay? Nettle Bolt also, when you taunt into Nettle to the Petal, will trigger an additional effect of healing from it. So I'll proc it here, and I'm just going to click so you can see what I'm doing, and then I'm going to hit my Nettle Bolt. And you can see here that Life Petal is ticking down faster than the regular 1 second. See? It's going down significantly faster. So with 1 cooldown, I already reduced the timing of this by over 30 seconds. Just by spamming Nettle Bolt. I got lucky on a few critical hits, which reduces it even further. But now that we can do this, we can keep it up almost indefinitely, which I'll show you in a second. But let me first talk about some of the talents. Symbiosis. 12 damage per pink butterfly. So you are adding 48 extra damage to your prickly vines if you have a pink butterfly on everybody. That is significant, especially when you pop your ult. So I'm going to show you the damage here. Let me clear this out. Let me actually go down here so I can make sure that I've got butterflies out. Okay, I've got all my butterflies out. Now, let me go into Symbiosis here alone. Got my butterflies out, and let's start going to combat here and pop my ultimate. Your ultimate, if you don't know, spawns a bunch of these vines, and each of them now are doing, I mean, you can see there, they're doing insane damage, and I can keep spawning them too. Look at that, my DPS is almost 10k. There we go, it just dipped over 10k. And for their duration, I mean, this is insane. They last for almost 30 seconds. They last for 27 seconds. Pulling over 11k DPS now doing that. So yeah, you can almost build this Sylvie damage dealer with the Symbiosis talent. It's insane. Might be worth checking into if you're doing content that you're feeling very comfortable with, or if you are going into quick play and you just want to kind of show off to your DPS. So yes, now I want to quickly show you the setup that I have with Sylvie in order to just continually run your cooldowns. You have some leeway here depending on whether you want Flutter Swift or Synchronized Fluttering. I am going to go Synchronized Fluttering for now. It's probably not the best, but this will demonstrate this pretty good. So all you want to do, you want to start with Life Petal or Heart Bloom. At this point it doesn't really matter which one it is, and then you want to keep your Prickly Vine on cooldown and you want to spam your Nettle Bolts. So start off by putting Verdant Restoration on me, start spamming our stuff, and here we go with our Heart Blooms. I want to wait for this orange border to get towards the end. I want to make sure my Restore Life stays on cooldown. There we go. I want to keep my Prickly Vines out, and now I'm going into Life Petal. Again, I'm clicking the buttons here just to show you where it is, because my UI might be a bit confusing to somebody. So there, I keep my vines out, I keep spamming, and this is smart healing that I'm getting right now. Put down my Life Bloom, and now we're going back to this one. Get my vines out, keep on spamming. So far I've had these cooldowns running for, what was that now, about a minute. And you can see my Life Petal is back up again. Put down the Life Petal. And we're going to keep on going. Oops, I'll let my Verdant Restoration drop. But you can see here that I've not stopped running cooldowns at this point. Put this down. And on top of this, on top of running these smart heals, remember, you still have, if you spec into Boom Shroom, you can still throw out Boom Shroom. If you, whoops, let me throw this one down. If you spec into, if you have a good healing weapon, you can heal somebody. Bam, look at that, 27k healing. So if there's an emergency, you can still do good. And I'm back to Heartbloom again. Oh, the tank is taking extra damage. There's his shield. Oh, the group's taking big damage. There we go. We have other cooldowns to use too. Third on my life that. Back to life battle again. Still using cooldowns. It's been what, almost 3 minutes now. And you know, we're just rolling out these smart heals. It feels so good to play. And I really think that these changes are going to take Sylvie from a viable healer to a healer that's a ton of fun. It takes you from that meme where the guy's super sweaty, stressing about all his cooldowns and everything, to just somebody who can just kind of throw down your cooldowns, keep them rolling, and actually have a ton of fun playing this character. So yeah, that's it for the patch notes. Thank you guys for watching, and if you want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe. Keep on brawling.